Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to bring a very important topic, which is sometimes people avoid to discuss. I'm bringing this because I see a lot of people unawarely they're doing this. I think sharing this with them would be very, very helpful. Why the side projects hurt programmers. The intention of this video is not judging people who are doing that. I do that. And I just want to give you a bit of clarity that what really is happening than like you're thinking. Therefore, please stay with me and see this kind of a different opinion maybe. I hope you will be enjoying that. So, introduction to it is like we're gonna talk about why the side projects hurt programmers, and then like programmers. The audience of this is those who are tempted by pet projects, like they're a programmer and they want to do something on the side. What is a side project? It's a small software or hobby coding done outside of the work. Often involves a new language, a new framework, or a new tool, and it's mostly experimental, and then sometimes it's intended for profit. So sometimes you just build it because you want it or want to experience something. And I'm excluding learning process from this, like it's not like you go create a project to learn a thing or topic and then you delete it. You're persuading that for profit or like having something for you. It's usually passion driven and it has personal interest. So you're passionate about it, you're thinking about it, you have like personal opinion about it. For example, I'm very interested into energy and IoT field, and I'm usually thinking about such projects, pet projects. I do them. It can be focused on enjoyment or learning, not necessarily monetization. And then like it's ambitious technically, there's a lot of features, and usually it's stayed unfinished. Why people start side projects? That's one thing we have to clarify first. That why this happens. A lot of times they're trying to learn a new technology, framework, or language. So if you want to learn a new programming, for example, Rust, then maybe you just create software on top of that instead of just reading the document, right? It makes a lot of sense to build something with a technology, with a topic, and have hands-on experience than just reading or doing like one or two exercise, and then just if it's not continuously happening. So the thing is, like when you're learning, if you have like one topic, second topic, third topic, like they're separated, you're not learning that much when the second topic depends on the first one, third depends on the second one, and the complexity just goes high. And then like you will solve like very deeper problems. For example, if you're handling the keyboard shortcuts, you just handle that. If you want to have a model, you learn that. But when you're mixing these things together, like you have two models and then the key bindings, how it's gonna work, it's very significant and different, and a lot of more details is involved. They are looking for potential to earn extra money. Sometimes it's like that. So they say, I'm going to build this business or product, just make more money. And a sad part is dream of having a business started while they're employed. So they're just working somewhere and then they have the idea that I'm going to build something and it's going to be a business and I will be like doing that. Now, the reality and hidden motivation is a bit different. It comes from the source that people desire for autonomy. A lot of times you're working in a team, even if you're two people in a product, and it's just, there are a lot of constraints, right? Sometimes they're imposed by the people, sometimes they're imposed by the condition, and you really don't have autonomy. And then Pet Project really gives you autonomy. You can basically do whatever you want to do. You can implement ideas your way. For example, if you wanted to use a specific library, a specific pattern, a specific code to make it look like some way, and then you can do it there versus on your day job, you just can't do that, or for a client. And you can test your technical freedom, like you can go as far as you want without restrictions at work. For example, you're working in a bank and then you cannot use a tool. And in your pet project, you can use that tool and then it just gives you a good feeling. A lot of time is the ego boost. So, like when you're working in a project in a company, it's just you want to do that part. They expect you to do one part, do it well, not perfect, not lesser, just one part of the job. Versus then you might see you have a lot of skills that you can do things more significantly. It's just not accepted in the work or not basically not needed. Um, you can be creative with the pet project. So you want to be satisfied that you are creative, that you build something, you could build something in your way, and then also you can have some proofs, and then we say like impressing people, for example, online audiences or friends or colleagues. For example, the way I'm building this video is just to impress and then get some social proof by providing a content to an online audience. There is a problem with all this. And the issue is side projects need more than coding, right? Almost there is no software which is not linked to a business. Even those softwares which are software purely, like let's say AutoCAD, they are heavily connected to construction industry and like software which you can just sell it as a software, let's say Windows, for example. There are not many of them. All of them you see like Uber, like I don't know, most of the apps on your thing. They're connected somehow to a real business. And even if there are like a thing which is a software purely, like for example YouTube, and then just coding is like few percent of that work is a lot of time like content checking algorithms to make something available in one country and the other country, laws, a lot of things basically. It's just same way that thinking a house is like biggest cost is the concrete bricks, which is like less than 2% in reality. But because you don't know that, you think, oh, house is a brick. That way. It requires marketing, branding, user acquisition. You would just have any software in your hand, just to steal it, and then from there you're in minus 1,000 point because getting users, advertising it, marketing it, constantly showing it, debugging it is just a lot of work. And in your day job, other people are doing it and you're not aware. Budget management is a problem often. So you think, okay, I have my evenings on this, I have my weekends on this. It's just simply not enough. And you say maybe I have few thousands for advertisement, and again, that's just barely even to start. Money matters, like money matters significantly. Most side projects fail to generate income, like almost all of them. And if something doesn't make money, like it feels stupid over like few months. Now you just have passion at first thing, which barely people have passions. Truly, they can follow something for 10 years straight. And that's just usually not happening. And also building a business, like something which makes an income when you're living in a paycheck to paycheck is very risky. So if you're checking your phone when you got your salary and then you say, okay, I'm gonna go and create a business, this is a terrible moment for that. And personal finances situation are ignored. So if you have debt to the bank, if you have like things to repair, if you need to change a house and all those things, the monies are like usually people are not calculating that. There is a red flag system that when you like having these conditions, I feel a huge red flag. So people talk to me that they want to start a business, they want to create an app or something, and I'm just like looking for some patterns in them and see like if they are like having these kind of things, and I say, oh, it's a red flag, this is a failure thing. One of the biggest thing is you're living paycheck to paycheck, so you don't have much money invested that you can just not work for like 2 3 years comfortably. You just need each paycheck, and then this is a terrible moment to build a business, especially. Now, in the parentheses, building a software while working paycheck to paycheck is possible by sacrificing your free moments, weekends, family. But a business requires a person who works like 150 hours per week. So that's a different ball game. Then the person can't commit like 3 to 6 months consistently, and like they have family responsibility, they are working somewhere. So even if you can't spend yourself alone 6 months full time, day and night on one topic, that topic just basically doesn't have any chance. And it doesn't matter how great you are, how great the idea is, it's just nobody there to implement it. Another red flag to me is a person is coding only. Like if they were being coding all the time and then they have no experience in marketing, they don't have money behind themselves. They're thinking somebody will invest in them, and then they don't have money themselves, even a small amount. Those kind of things that shows the person doesn't have a business idea of what's happening around them. If it's for ego or fun, not solving a real problem. So, like you build something, it's just a hobby, but it's not solving a problem or helping a business be faster. Like when you're targeting people, it's a bit different than businesses. So, and then if something you're building is not helping anybody and hasn't any like reason for people to pay for it, then it's just fun or ego. Another thing I will see and immediately notice this person is having problems and red flag on the side project is they don't have any measurable goal or exit plan. So they don't know if these things happened, I will stay. And if by this amount of time, this thing did not happen, I will quit. Like they haven't defined what is success on this thing. Like there is no tangible way to say, okay, we succeeded. Well, in a business, there is never such thing because you might sell 1,000, you might sell nothing, you might sell 1 million, and you really never know. You just do your best and like measure things, and then you just wait for the best to come out. But you need to have some idea. Another thing is if the person who is doing that is having no business experience, like they never being a businessman, even in a small scale. They never had a shop, they never sold anything outside of the paycheck, they were an employee. And like they're not exposed to the real world challenges. Like the employment system helps people to be feeling safe. And this thing, like if they don't have that experience in the past, it's very risky to start a side project. Time versus return is another important topic because if you coding for 100 hours, it's not 100 hours of value. That's why people think, oh, I created this very complex feature, and then another colleague of mine just fixed like one typo, and he's now more famous and more loved than me because that's just not having a relationship that much. So it's just a matter of how much change you can make versus think about it like maybe adult movie website just generates a lot more money than like 3D design software because that just serves more people and they're more willing to pay for it than like for 3D design software. The issue is people don't understand is opportunity cost is very important. So when you're spending time on the side project, paid project, especially those don't have much of a chance or value, the others' skills and other life experiences are lost. Like if you spend 5 hours in the evening doing a pet project, that's 5 hours time you lost watching a movie with your partner or doing anything fun. Although, like we say, that doesn't have any potential, and this one has also very low potential, and then for 100% you have lost very great moments of your life. Side projects are really compound like a career growth. What I meant by this is like in order something to compound to become big, you need to continue working on it. So if you are each 3 months having a new idea then none of them are becoming complete over time. And then with that speed of side project, you have to work on something maybe 5 years to make it happen. You need to consider also life outside of the code. This is mostly for developers with this video, but like gym is very important. You don't have to be coding all the time. Like if you exercise, if you spend your time in gym, that like brings a lot of value. Same thing goes with the friends and family. Spending time with them, building networks, knowing people, even if the neighbors, that's very important. Also, travel and hobbies are very important. For example, you can go somewhere, spend somewhere a weekend, and discovering new places. There is a lot of things you can do outside of the code to get that dopamine instead of writing just code. Um, there is one thing issue with building such projects is also the cushion paradox. And what does that mean is that you say, I want to start a side project and I have saved 2 years of living, so it's some money. And then you just realize instead of risking it on something which has like 5% chance, you can just buy a better house, better car, improve your life, like help your friends and family. And because of this perfect time to start just never comes. Because anytime you have some money, you can just improve something else until like you're very, very improved. And and then you can do like lowering your lifestyle and having support from family or friends or third party. And then either you have to take very big risks. Think about it. You spend 1 year on a topic, even if you quit your job, it's 1 year you didn't earn. Also, you have consumed a lot of money from the past. So there's like 2, 3 years is just gone by 1 year of not working. And then for a lot of people, which they don't have that much of a stability first, the business later is the only realistic option. So if you are not stable at the moment, you are not going to be a successful business person. Um, you have to understand when the timing isn't just right. And that is like for some stuff, there is a right moment, for others is not. Now, they're very wrongly advertising the right time will never come. Actually, if you build towards it, the right time will come, and it's very important to wait for it because if you're going to the mountains unprepared, you just will freeze. And if you're prepared, you will enjoy the scene. If your life is not stable, like you have problem at home with your like spouse, family, you have some health crisis, money problem, is just terrible time, and then the business is being like 10 times harder to do. If you don't have legal stability or home or house, and then like you have to be moving each year to a new place, or in case of mine, for example, I was an immigrant in Poland, and I didn't have even like citizenship. So what kind of a business you can start on that? If you have language network gaps, you don't know anyone, you don't have any clients, you don't have trust much made, you have language problems like you're a foreigner somewhere else. If you have emotional chaos at home, you have issues, any kind of thing that does this thing comes to your mind every 30 minutes, I have such issue, then you need to go and create the foundations first. Like you need to have a stable house, comfortable life, finances, and then you can go and do the business, right? Support is very important in side projects, and you need to get that. It's like um, you get support from family members, kids, spouse, or like the place you're living, friends, that they are supporting this idea, not they say, "Oh, this is a stupid thing you're doing," and then listen to them. Maybe it is. Uh, then you're not isolated. You're not like just taking it to yourself. Rather, it's something shareable with the others. And then like small gestures such as visits and those kind of things. Like you just don't go and delve into the computer and coding, but you can also like enjoy of company. Reality is like success is sometimes who is behind you. You know, a lot of times people think becoming a millionaire is easy, but it really matters like who your parents were. So that changes things like significantly. And if you don't have that support, maybe it's just not the right time to build anything. So you can do something else instead of creating a software which will never be completed or used or generated money. You can do some freelancing. You can just even go to Uber and work and make some money, extra money, and then in a year those kind of monies matter, like they will solve one problem of yours, like they will improve your life a little bit, and you will really enjoy that, like just putting, I don't know, a few $1000s on top of your now car and just get a better model, a cleaner, whatsoever. You can contribute to open source. Like instead of having a project which is incomplete and then there is no way to sell it, or even sells but not that much that you could make that much on Uber and then doesn't have really potential to grow, you can just contribute to something important, like just contribute to an important library of your using in your line of work, and then that gives you a huge visibility, and like you can say, hey, I have contributed to this project, I have created this open source project which is being used now, and it's personally helped me a lot because I have such project created and then I have shown it and got a lot of contracts on that. Build a small tools, like in everything you do there is a tool which can accelerate thing a bit, give more accuracy, and then just share that with people in marketplaces. Those things which are very tangible, what they're doing, how they will be closed. Developer tools as side projects are great things instead of businesses. They're like very long lasting. If you create a tool, like I even created an ORM, very creepy one in PHP 2000, I think 14 or something. Is still there out there and being used. Like that's so weird. And that can be portfolio pieces. Or if it's a good tool, it can be income sources, although very hard, but it can be like you can just show your talents. It's very good that you can show that you are very talented and then you can get a good job. Though the like media is advertising that entrepreneurship is the only way, but it's not actually. It's just if you're having a high paid job and then using that money to invest in houses or other things that people do, it's actually might not make you billionaire, but it can make you millionaire, in fact. And so developer tools are not really dependent on massive marketing to the general public. You can go to a meetup and then just present it there, collect some GitHub stars, get some feedback, and then people actually start using it, and that makes you a name. Focus on the longevity. If you're doing side project, aim for projects that last. I mean, not trendy experience. Like, don't do something on bitcoins or like anything trendy, NFTs, those kind of things which just come for 2 3 years. People got scammed and then they leave. Just build something which is like a tool for JavaScript, which will work even in 30 years time. So I have this 3D design software. It's gonna work like when I'm 60 as well, and by that time, God knows how much of a feature is inside of that. So those kind of things which are long activity, not business dependent, country dependent, situation dependent, unless the situation changes and then just thing goes to the garbage. Um, and then also like build skills that compound. That's very obvious. One of the issues with this side project for people is they're constantly switching tech stacks. So because they don't like or get bored from the tech stack, for example, they're working at job in C Sharp, they say, hey, let's go and create something in Golang without any reason why we have to create in Golang. And then that thing just like if it's the goal to learn Golang, that's perfectly fine. But if it's a goal to create a business, create a product, you have to use what is appropriate and mostly important what you already know very well. And that shows if you're switching the tech stack when you could do it with something that you already know, that's not a real business goal. And then also never completing projects. Like this is a general issue with people, but if you're not finishing it, it's terrible. It just matters when you start something, unless it's totally wrong, you have to finish it because everything when you're grinding, seems to be hard and the other thing seems to be much better. Um, and then people, I see like they don't know about time and they're overestimating that, like they think they have a lot of time. Actually, they don't. They are at work to some hour and then they have to take care of house, do something at home, family, friends, like they have other hobbies, they go to gym or something, and then like actual they have like 10 hours per week and it's not enough for anything. That 10 hours playing PlayStation is used much better on a side project. um so the thing is, like you see a lot of people, like almost all developer having a project, but why they don't launch it as a business? The issue is like, if you're having financial insecurity, just startup dies. Your pocket needs to be loaded. You can't be just paycheck by paycheck, as I mentioned, to start a business. That's just not possible. And then the reality hits you very hard in the beginning. That's why you see a lot of people are having these side projects, but they in fact never launch it because deep in their brain they know it's not possible. It needs like 2 3 years of living cushion, so like 1 year 2 years of grinding, and then maybe then later accusation of some like customers, clients or something. So you need to be really really loaded, as we talked. If you have debt, paycheck dependency, it just adds a stress and you cannot do that. Now, having all these things said, we can have a planning for a real business. Validate the idea before building a full product. It doesn't mean to create a landing page and then just like put a button there, like as we see in the YouTube. It needs to be a working solution. Sometimes creating this idea like thing works takes like 6 months for a business, and then you need to build all the details, but you don't have to be like huge and solving like 10 problem. You can just solve like one or two problem, but end to end, like complete from the user sign up, agreements and all those things. And like when a user goes inside your product, whatever it is, if it's a physical thing, it shouldn't have this feeling that this is incomplete or a work in progress. And then you can just start, after that point, start planning for a business. Minimal viable product we just discussed. Don't over engineer it, but make sure it is complete. MVP is not just minimal thing that you can see on a picture. It's just one thing which works perfectly fine, completely end to end. And have a budget for marketing and operations. Before you're starting that, just have money for it, that you just, if you had to put advertisement, 50,000, just sign a check and then they can do advertisement for it. Perfect products, even nobody knows about it, doesn't matter. One thing is important to accept, that you can't, like either now or either never. Like some people just can't do things forever. So if I have like a requirement, I can't be a basketballist, for example. I'm short for that. That's I should accept that and move on with another thing, which is, for example, diving, that I can do very good, and invest in there. It's just, you can't now, or you might be never able to. Not every idea just worth persuading. Like a lot of ideas are sound interesting, but they're not money makers. They're not solving any problem, and you don't want to be involved in something that doesn't solve any problem, doesn't make any money. You want to be involved in something that makes a problem and makes some money. For example, selling cigarettes. That's fun. You can create a huge business. It makes a problem, makes a profit. Um, and then like you have to understand that you don't have money or you don't have time now. These are real. You cannot bypass them or outsmart them. Those people who are building great things, they have huge cushions. I was working for a company, it became profitable after 11 years, and then like 8 years of that, German investment companies were just shoveling money into it. And then you just see, that two guys created a such great business, and then you just don't see what happened there. Trying anyway usually just wastes your energy and delays meaningful progress. If you just push it without a reason, you lose time that instead you could make yourself better, make yourself stronger, and then start. So grinding usually doesn't mean result. And focus on realistic things like what you can do at the moment, and then build leverage, build money, build skills, talk to people, and then just get ready for time. For some people, this appropriate time even can be in a 15 years time, can be in a 20 years time. The time doesn't matter, the condition matters. So for someone can get money for like half a million like this and then start. For some other person, they need to invest, save 20 years to be even given a chance. Now, I have said these things so far to reach to this point that you can use your time better than most side projects. You know, most side projects suck, and then you are spending a like very expensive time on them, which you can do other things. One thing is freelancing or consulting. Like you just go and help somebody else, which is building something. You get some money and you get experience from there, and that's a win-win. Like you also helped your environment. So some other person was wanted to do something, you help them to achieve that, and this is a very good thing for the society. And imagine like if other things weren't built, your teeth hurt and then there wasn't a medicine for that. Learn a widely used product. I see a lot of programmers colleagues, they don't know any other software. It's just they're building software, they never used Photoshop, they never used Salesforce, they never used Autodesk products. You know, like as a software engineer you had to use at least like I don't know 50 different softwares deeply, and like having experience with things with other people are doing, not avoiding that, which is a problem I had like many years ago. Like I wasn't like checking what else exists, I just started building. um Study business fundamentals. So understand what the other businessmen do, understand the taxes, understand the rules, laws. So I wanted to, for example, sell this product in European market. What is the EU law and what is the CE trademarking? All those things matter, because if your product is in a way that might hurt somebody, might be even perceived as hurt, and you are the person who puts this in circulation, you're being like accountable for that, and you don't want to lose your life calm feeling over like some like non-profitable mistake you have done. Another thing is the fitness in gym. You know, if you're not in a good shape, just spend time to fix yourself and then be in good shape. I have tremendous amounts of skills, like endless skills that your head spins if you knew. But I feel none of them helped me really just by going 2 years to the gym. And it gives you a lot of respect, it gives you a lot of confidence, it even helps you in the startup building. People trust you, people pay for you, people like to be around you. It shows you have discipline. It's just like have endless benefits that if you start doing it. And for example, I checked a lot of my colleagues, like maybe one or two of them are fit and most of them are extremely overweight, or like no muscles. And I don't see the purpose, like you're driving a Mercedes and then just being like that. Anyway, you have to come out of the car, right? At some point. Um, you can spend time on your appearance, like learn what is a perfume, learn how to wear good, like manage your wardrobe. All those things is better than a failed crap software which never got completed. Um, a lot of things you can do is in household and do it yourself things. Learned how to change oil in your car, like I do it, and saves me like I think 2,500 Polish money per year. These kind of things are like small, but when you're doing 10 of them, you see like in a 5 years time, you are richer and you are more confident. And if you can fix things at home, like even more serious stuff, like doing like electrical works, gas works, water works, and all those things, they add a lot of value into your life. Focus on your friendships, you know, don't be alone weekends that you're doing something. Go help your friends, go support them, go be involved in them, even if they're reluctant. You go and provide something for them. Let me give you a story. I bought a woodcutter basically, and that woodcutter like made me close to my neighbors, to my friends. All of them required something to be cut at a tree, or like they had some trenches, and then like is it's like very interesting how you can be helpful to other people. And then imagine like if I spent that time just writing a crap Angular module which was not asked by anyone. You know what I'm trying to say here? Family time, relationships is important. Don't be a single person. Like go and fix your friendship partner thingy, which is very important. Gaming, like who said the gaming with computer is bad? Hobbies, like if you like to do anything else, going to have a beer even can be like social skill, and all those things. Language learning, I think I feel has a very high ROI when you learn language up to some level, like good level, not just few words, and just brains develops your brain and opens a lot of career options, makes you very close to those people. And I know a friend that like had an interview with some Turkish guys, and he knew some Turkish. It just make them very, very close, and he helped them get the job. Those kind of things. If you like meeting someone, learn to invest on cheap lands, invest on stocks, all those things. Open source contributions, as we discussed earlier. Um, like learn things, like learn about another thing that you might not use in a 5 years time. For example, like what is the issue becoming a construction person in a 5 years time on the side, instead of having like built a lot of things which didn't matter. On developers tools also we have discussed. um, the thing is, side projects let you to code your way. It's true, but it's just not enough to succeed. Real freedom is financial security, time, and resource. So a lot of people are not coding at all, and they have a lot of money, and a lot of people are not having a lot of money, but just enough, and they're enjoying the life much more than the others, and that's very key to understand here. If you're not in a good shape, you'll be frustrated. That's just the point. The time is being spent much better in investing in skills, networking, health, mindset, as we discussed. The conclusion I can give you is that side projects aren't inherently bad. Like, just maybe there's a lot of better things to do. If your motivation and financial system situation is not really in compatible mode, it can really hurt. And work and life balance is very important. We are not machines which are focused on productivity and success. Rather, we are like people who live in a society, and the very short amount of time which is given to us is not worth anything doing things which is not useful for us or the others. Thank you for listening this far. I hope it was useful. You might have a different opinion though, but I think this is like my 20 years at least development experience that I could share with you. That I thought it is much more important than any coding thing that I can share with you. So take care, and see you in another video. Bye.